a small, irresistible magnet of curiosity. That's where this begins. Listen to the quiet suggestion that coincidences are not random collisions, but subtle taps on an inner dial. Stay for the clear map. Sense a frequency. Learn practical tuning methods. Let synchronicities become a compass for decisions. This short journey will blend practical exercises, metaphors that stick, and one surprising bridge between quantum ideas and everyday guidance. Let the first breath settle into attention as the invitation deepens and we move closer to the first practice. Modern life floods the senses with noise and choices, making inner signals hard to hear. When attention fragments, meaningful pattern recognition dulls, and doors that might open remain closed. The aim here is simple. Restore a receptive field so signals from both inner guidance and outer coincidence arrive with clarity. Expect practical grounding techniques that sharpen perception and invite aligned opportunities. Breathe with the idea that alignment is a craft, not luck, and then follow the breath into the first metaphor that will anchor everything we do next. Carry these three outcomes through the rest of the video. First, a felt ability to notice subtle patterns as guidance. Second, a set of simple, repeatable tuning practices to shift state quickly. Third, a conceptual bridge connecting quantum-inspired principles with spiritual listening so decisions arise from resonance rather than force. Keep those three as touchstones and let them shape how the practices feel in the body. With the map clear, we turn to the metaphors that make this practical and memorable. Before theory, a tiny practice. Close the eyes, place a hand lightly over the heart, and inhale for 4 counts. Hold 2, exhale 6. Notice the shift in amplitude between breath cycles. Notice subtle changes in attention and openness. This micro reset will be one of the tools used repeatedly, a portable retuning for busy days. Rest in that ease for a moment, then open into the next section where metaphors make the invisible feel tangible. Imagine attention as a crystalline tuning fork. When struck by intention, it vibrates and sets surrounding possibilities into resonance. If the fork is dampened by stress or distraction, the resonance is muffled and potential alignments go unheard. The practice becomes skillful striking and gentle clearing so the fork resonates cleanly. Visualize striking the fork now with a soft intention, feeling the hum expand outward, then let that hum lead into the next metaphor that will guide practical shifts. Think of inner frequency like an old radio dial searching for a station. Signal strength depends on how well the receiver is aligned and whether competing static is present. Intention is the hand that turns the dial with subtle, steady adjustments rather than forceful jerks. Learn to make micro shifts, slight adjustments in belief, breath, or posture, and notice how synchronicities change stations accordingly. Keep that image as we move toward practical tuning methods in the next moment. Envision life as a forest of possibilities where each path lights up when the right frequency passes through. Synchronicities are small lanterns that appear when pathways align with current resonance. The forest metaphor helps explain why some doors light while others remain dark. It depends on the match between inner field and external pattern. This perspective makes discernment easier, a way to recognize which lanterns to follow. Let this forest image settle and prepare for a sequence of practices to sharpen that match. Metaphors become meaningful when translated into repeatable habits. The tuning fork and radio dial are maps that show where to apply attention. We'll practice 5 accessible moves: breath modulation, micro-visualization, environmental declutter, intention phrase, and rapid curiosity. Each move trains perception so the lanterns appear sooner and clearer. Breathe in this readiness, and next we'll begin the first practical tuning sequence together. Begin with grounding, feet on earth or an imagined root anchoring down. Release tension in the jaw and shoulders, letting the chest widen slightly. Clear literal clutter from the immediate environment for 2 minutes. Even small clearing reduces internal static and strengthens reception. This is the preparatory tuning necessary before subtle signals register with ease. Carry that grounded state forward as we layer the next step. Use a slow breathing pattern. Inhale for 4, hold 2, exhale 6. Imagine each exhale releasing small knots of static. Each inhale brings a clear tone into the body. After 5 cycles, place attention at the sternum and notice a subtle vibration. That is the inner tuning fork. Practice this daily for 2 minutes to raise baseline receptivity. Let that inner tone linger as we introduce the next practical tool. Close the eyes and visualize a soft beam of light aligning with the heart-centered tone. See the beam sweeping the environment like a radar, marking small synchronicities as glowing points. Name one recent coincidence that felt significant and trace it back to its inner intention. What question was present then? Bringing conscious narrative to coincidences trains pattern recognition so future lanterns are seen sooner. Keep that radar image as we move to the next step. Form short intention phrases that resonate rather than command. Examples: open to helpful alignments, or I tune to guidance that serves growth. Speak or think them with calm conviction, not desperation. Repeating them in a neutral tone sets a gentle bias for the field without rigid attachment to outcome. Use this phrase as a soft steering mechanism and then transition into the final integrative step. Make curiosity a rapid response habit. When a coincidence appears, pause for a breath. Ask one open question like, "What is this nudging towards?" and notice the first associative thought or feeling. Avoid over-analysis. Allow the mind's initial resonance to register. This brief pause creates a feedback loop that strengthens signal detection over time. With these 5 steps woven together, readiness becomes a daily practice, and the field more responsive to meaningful guidance. Quantum thinking reframes reality as probabilities until observation collapses potential into a particular outcome. Inner bias, expectation, belief, posture acts like gentle observation. When the internal field is calibrated, the collapse favors aligned outcomes more often. This doesn't promise omnipotence. It highlights the subtle role of attention in selection. Let this possibility deepen the practice rather than turn it into performance, and move with that nuance into a simple thought experiment. Entanglement is often misunderstood as magic linkage across space. Practically, it suggests that resonance can create meaningful connections across apparent distance. For instance, meeting a helpful person unexpectedly after holding an aligned intention. The important shift is to think in terms of resonance, not force. Alignment invites entanglement, like patterns that show up as opportunity. Hold that thought and breathe into how this reframes responsibility for choice-making. Observation collapses probability, yet attachment narrows it too rigidly, often excluding beneficial surprises. The art is balanced observation, clear present noticing paired with openness to variation. Practice the tuning fork breath to witness without clenching toward outcomes. The field will respond differently when attention is neither hungry nor absent. Carry that balance into decisions and watch how synchronicities offer multiple doors instead of one forced path. Try a brief ritual. Ground. Set a soft intention phrase. Breathe into the heart tone. Visualize the beam scanning, then release with a gratitude exhale. Treat this as a laboratory experiment. Note what changes over the coming week without overinterpreting single events. Keeping a simple journal of coincidences and inner states trains the mind to detect patterns and refines the resonance. With the science poetry bridge built, the next chapter explores real-life application and decisions guided by synchronicity. When choices arise, treat synchronicities as helpful compass points rather than absolute directives. If a pattern repeats and aligns with intention, let it weigh gently in the decision. If patterns conflict, prompt further tuning and curiosity rather than panic. Over time, the compass sharpens. Small coincidences cluster into meaningful constellations that clarify direction. Hold that practical stance as we step into everyday examples that make this real. Apply this in 3 common domains: relationships, projects, and timing. For relationships, notice recurring themes and encounters. For projects, look for unexpected resources or aligned people. For timing, track when openings appear after subtle internal shifts. Use the 5-step tuning sequence before important conversations or deadlines to invite helpful alignments. Hold those applications lightly and prepare to hear a short set of troubleshooting tips next. Blocks often show up as impatience, hyperanalysis, or fear of missing out. When impatience rises, return to the breath, reset. When analysis dominates, shorten the inquiry to one open question. When fear of scarcity appears, practice gratitude and widen the field. Remember that tuning is incremental. Small shifts accumulate. With these adjustments in hand, the greatest revelation of this journey arrives: the nature of an aligned life. The aha moment is simple and profound. Alignment is not a final destination, but an ongoing skill. Tuning becomes a daily rhythm, a relationship with attention and openness rather than a one-time hack. As habits consolidate, synchronicities shift from surprising anomalies into predictable companions that inform choices and open doors. Carry that realization forward as we close with a reflective practice and an invitation to keep experimenting. Take a moment. Recall the 3 takeaways stated at the start: pattern sensing, practical tuning, and the bridge between quantum ideas and spiritual listening. Notice how the metaphors, 5 tuning steps, and quantum connections support those outcomes. The invitation now is to practice the 5 steps daily for a week, track coincidences with a brief journal, and share one discovery in the comments or community. If the video helped, like and subscribe to continue exploring practical, heart-centered quantum ideas. May the field of guidance feel nearer, kinder, and more available, and may the next coincidence arrive as a warm, clarifying lantern, lighting an unexpected doorway.